Hey guys, I'm Sam.
And I'm Jared.
And we're here with the Manhattan Media Network. And our topic of the day is how we got here to Manhattan College.
What happened this time?
We're Manhattan University.
Hey guys, I'm Sam.
And I'm Jared.
And we're here with the Manhattan Media Network. And our topic of the day is how we got here. So Jared here is from New Zealand. They're known as Kiwis, and I'm Thai. So we both have international backgrounds. Now, Jared, what is a Kiwi?
Well, that's a very interesting question, Sam. Not a lot of people know what a Kiwi is. It's funny, the other day, one of my friends randomly texted me and just asked me, is a Kiwi insult to you? Is that term insulting? And I was like, no, actually. A Kiwi is more of a term of endearment. It's a common nickname to call a New Zealander. And a Kiwi has like multiple meanings. We have a native bird called a Kiwi, and we also have the kiwi fruit, which people here in America most commonly associate the word kiwi with. So it's our fun little nickname that makes us who we are.
So is the kiwi fruit from New Zealand?
It's can be found in New Zealand and in Australia as well. There's like a green kiwi fruit, gold kiwi fruit. There may even be a red one as well. So I love kiwi fruit personally. I haven't had one in a minute, but it's one of my favorite fruits.
Me too. And in Thailand, we have some unique fruits too, like the dragon fruit. Have you ever had dragon fruit before?
I believe so, yeah. Not in a while, but I think I've heard dragon fruit is pretty bussin', yeah.
And we also have another fruit called the durian, which is actually banned on airplanes because it's so stinky.
Really? It smells?
Yeah, it smells terrible. It smells like rotting flesh, apparently.
I'm still curious enough to try it, though. I think just to see what it's like.
Well, that's the adventurous spirit of a Kiwi, huh?
We are very adventurous. You know, the first person to successfully climb Mount Everest was a Kiwi. So we've always had a very courageous spirit to us.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And so I also wanted to ask you, do you see like Mordor every time you go to school, or like or the Shire, perhaps?
Well, Mordor is, the real Mordor is a mountain in New Zealand, in the North Island, called Mount Taranaki. Oh. And that's where that whole mountain is kind of filmed. But I haven't really been to that part of the island. I'm from the South Island. Mm-hmm. But I want to do a big trip there someday, go back home, and kind of see a lot of the Lord of the Rings that even I haven't seen yet.
It's one of my favorite movies. What do you think?
It's one of the best trilogies of all time. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite. Those movies, I think, were very ahead of their time in terms of like the practical effects and the graphics. And yeah, they're definitely a common rewatch for me.
We could see his Kiwi accent coming out sometimes.
Let me just
I think it's really
add
cool.
A disclaimer though. I have a weird accent because I was born in America. I have an American father and a Kiwi mother. Mm-hmm. So my accent's very up and down. Some days I'll sound Kiwi, some days I'll sound American, or I'll have to just kind of like just pick and choose sometimes. Mm-hmm. If I'm at Subway, you know, they're not going to know what a tomato is. I just say, oh, tomato. So I have to kind of sort of pick and choose sometimes just so people can actually understand me.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to kind of move on here and actually get into how you ended up here at Manhattan. So, were you born in New Zealand and then you moved to Austin?
No, I was born in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, okay.
And then when I was 3 years old, myself, my two older brothers, and my parents, we moved to New Zealand, as that's where my mom's from. And they just thought it was a better place for me and my brothers to be raised, and I think it was a really good decision. I got to experience a whole different culture for most of my life, and I'm definitely very grateful for it today, and also grateful to have the opportunity to come back to the U.S. on a sports scholarship and be able to be here, as a citizen as well. So I'm very, very appreciative of that as well.
Now, did you run cross country in New Zealand?
Yeah, I started running cross country and track back in New Zealand. I come from a big running family. My parents met through running at a race, and then I got my two older brothers also ran in college as well. So I naturally found my way into running as well. I started when I was a freshman in high school and became one of the best junior runners in New Zealand and won a couple of national titles.
Wow.
And then I got a scholarship, went to a school in Texas, went to junior college for a little bit, and then transferred up here to finish school.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that actually brings me into our next topic, and I really wanted to ask Jared here, what is your craziest experience with an animal? You know, Australia and New Zealand are both known for their wild animals.
Yeah, well,
so
in New Zealand we have a lot of like wild boars, like wild pigs, and so I often would run up mountains in New Zealand, which is one thing it's very interesting about being back in America is that I'm in New York City. We don't have any mountains to run up unless you want to go upstate. So I'd have these runs that go up this winding path up a mountain, and occasionally when you're deep in the mountain, you know, you might stumble across a boar, and as long as it's not the like mother boar, then you're good because she's always out there protecting her young. So that's always an interesting experience, but most of the time people just like wrestle with them and they're probably not going to harm you most of the time.
Well, I guess that gives you a little motivation to run faster, huh?
Yeah, definitely, but yeah.
All right. Well, in Thailand, we have a lot of bugs and stuff. I guess my most unique experience that I think you guys would find fun is when I was a kid, they used to bring elephants into the city. Now, not the most humane practice, if you will, but it's still pretty cool to see an elephant in your lobby of your building. Well, not the lobby, but the parking lot. Because how would you get the elephant through the door, huh?
That's pretty cool. We don't have elephants in New Zealand. I don't think I've ever seen one live. I've always wanted to. That's a pretty unique experience.
Oh, yeah, they're beautiful creatures. They're like
they're very gentle, you know. They
supposedly very smart. They could paint paintings. I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're not that looked after. I hear they're kind of endangered, right?
Yes. Yes, so protect our animals, guys.
Protect animals. And actually, the kiwi bird in New Zealand is also an endangered species. So you don't really see them like hopping around everywhere. There's not that many left. So we also got to protect our kiwis as well.
Is the kiwi a flightless bird?
It's a flightless bird, a little brown bird with a big beak, kind of hops around kind of like this. It's very cute. Yeah, I mean, most people know what the kiwi bird is. It's very unique to us.
So it's not a common occurrence to see one?
No, it's probably pretty rare to see one out in the wild. Like they're very protected. I've only seen one in the zoo, maybe like in a little like habitat like that. But yeah, you're not gonna just go down the street and just see a kiwi hopping around. That's not gonna happen.
Right. So I also wanted to know, have you ever encountered any like huge insects? Because I'm fascinated by insects. I think they look like tiny aliens, and I'm terrified by them because of that fact.
Yeah, we have a lot of insects. We have a lot of cicadas. You know, I remember when I was going camping in New Zealand, they'd be like chirping all night long. It's just millions of cicadas. So we have a lot of little critters, but no real like predators that, you know, like very poisonous spiders or snakes. But we have like a lot of pretty tame sort of species, I think.
All right.
How about in Thailand? Like, what sort of creatures do you want to get away from?
Well, in Thailand, in your apartment, you'll have geckos, and if you leave any food out overnight, then the geckos will come and eat your food, and you'll end up with a sink full of geckos. And so my one story with geckos is I was sleeping one night, and a gecko woke me up by falling onto my face.
No way.
And I was very terrified. I had a big reaction.
That's crazy. Yeah, you must have been like screaming when that happened.
I wouldn't say screaming, maybe screaming, crying.
Yeah, I would say. I don't know how I would react to that.
No, it's one of the worser things I've woken up to, but not the worst.
Well, anyway, Sam, I want to ask you about your sort of college experience. You've been in New York your whole life, pretty much. So tell me what that's been like growing up here and now going to school in New York.
So growing up in Bangkok, it was very different from New York, obviously. It's still a metropolitan area, but it's a lot more rogue in a sense that, you'll have the craziest traffic. You'll have motorcyclists weaving in between traffic and rickshaws going everywhere. It's very dangerous on the roads in Thailand, so wear a helmet if you're motorcycling. It's a very compact city. What I do miss is the food.
I love Thai food personally. Love Thai food.
Well, it wasn't even the Thai food. I think Thai people are the best chefs on earth. They can make anything. Seriously, anything. I miss the Italian food in Thailand,
Really? Wow.
Everything is good. Everything is good. So Bangkok, go there.
And then when did you come to New York after that, after going to Bangkok?
So I moved to the Upper East Side. Well, actually, before that, I moved from LA to New York, and I moved to the Upper East Side, which, if you guys don't know, it's like on the east side of the Central Park in the 90s, and it is a nice neighborhood. It's a good mix of people. It's very different from Bangkok or LA because you're taking the subway everywhere, and you meet very interesting people in the subway.
Yeah, it's always been very interesting to me, people that have been here their whole lives, been in New York their whole life, how they've seen the whole city change, and they've just grown up with different things evolving, and I've always been very fascinated by that.
Now, the city is normal to me, but it's not normal to you.
Yeah. It's definitely growing on me. I feel like I'm becoming a New Yorker over time. I'm slowly learning about New York more and more, the more I'm here. So I feel like I'm slowly becoming into that.
Is there anything crazy that you think is super weird about our city?
Just how long it takes to get places. I lived in a smaller town in New Zealand, 5 minutes from the beach, and I'm not used to having to travel 2 hours by subway to get to another part of the city. That's so weird for me. Get on a train and go 2 hours. It's just 2 hours will get me to another city thousands of kilometers away. So that's the whole spatial part of that is really interesting to me.
So we're gonna wrap it up for you folks here. So this is Jared and I'm Sam. Yes. And we're here with the Manhattan Media Network. And
it's been great learning about you, Sam.
It's been great learning about you, Jared. I think I might take you out after this.
Sounds good. And get some Thai food.
Exactly. Peace out. Manhattan Media Network. Forever.